couple of weeks ago at my church, we had a commissioning service for the Sunday school teachers. This service is done every 2 years and is meant to renew us in our calling by having a session of motivation and commitment 1 week before, and then having a part in the liturgy where all the Sunday school teachers are called one by one, reminded of their calling, and then blessed by the pastor and the congregation. We have done this for the past 6 years, and each time I am profoundly moved during the service. It truly feels like God was there, confirming the call and blessing each and every one of us, equipping us with His power. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. I'm sure you have heard this quote before, and there's so much truth in that. When you look in the Bible, God almost never calls people who are qualified for the job He wants to get done. Instead, over and over again, God calls people who seem the most unqualified, and then somehow enables them to do great things. Think about it. Abraham was an old man, but God gave him a son in his old age to show that God keeps His promises. Jacob was a liar, but he became the father of Israel. David was a cheater and a murderer, yet he was still called a man after God's own heart, and he was a well-known king. Jonah ran away from God, but God was patient with him. Elijah was suicidal even after God's display of great power, and God cared for him until he was fit to do his calling as a prophet again. Peter had a temper and denied Jesus, but he still became the leader of the disciples after Jesus' ascension. If you look up this list on the internet, it often comes with a final question after the long list of misfits and failures that God called to do things for Him. What's your excuse? Since God qualifies the called, what is your excuse to say no to God's calling? You see, it is so easy, and often it is our first reaction to something that is possibly a calling from God, to say, "No, God, I can't do that. Let someone else do it." Just like Moses when he was talking to God through the burning bush. In Exodus 4, verse 10, Moses said to the Lord, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue." And once again in verse 13, "Pardon your servant, Lord. Please send someone else." And all this after God gave him so many signs of assurance. We often feel unqualified and therefore decline opportunities that God has given us. But when God calls you to do something, God will help you to get it done. The next time an opportunity to serve God comes up, let's answer boldly, "Here I am, Lord, send me."